Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
The thing we have to do is get enough people to turn out so that they can't, steal those votes through suppression in Wisconsin or convince blacks not to vote in Michigan, all the stuff that they did this last time, which was very effective and the Russians played a big role in.
Right, and they'll double down on this time. No, and Trump had those advantages, but he was not an incumbent. So as we know, whether it's Ronald Reagan, your husband, Barack Obama, those first 18 months of the election cycle were as important as the last 6 months. I think that should give us pause. So one, it's connected to the discussion we just had and actually about social media earlier in our discussion. Donald Trump, as you know better than anyone in the world, only got 46.1% of the vote nationally. He got 47.2 in Wisconsin, 47.7 in Michigan. If you had said those before the election, you would have said he's going to lose in a landslide.
Right.
But one of the reasons he was able to win is the third-party vote.
Right.
And what's clear to me, you mentioned, he's going to just lie. I mean, you forgot. He's going to say whoever our nominee is will ban hamburgers and steaks, and you can't fly, and infanticide, and people will believe this. So how concerned are you about that? For me, so much of this does come down to the win number. If he has to get 49 or even 49.5 in a bunch of these, I don't think he can. So he's going to try and drive at people not to vote for him, but just to say, you can't vote for them either. And that seems to be, I think, to the extent that I can divine a strategy, their key strategy right now.
Well, I think there's going to be two parts, and I think it's going to be the same as 2016. Don't vote for the other guy. You don't like me? Don't vote for the other guy because the other guy's going to do X, Y, and Z, or the other guy did such terrible things. And I'm going to show you in these, flashing videos that appear and then disappear, and they're on the dark web and nobody can find them. But you're going to see them, and you're going to see that person doing these horrible things. They're also going to do third party again. And I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not because she's also a Russian asset.
Agent,
yeah, she's a Russian asset. I mean, totally. And so they know they can't win without a third-party candidate. And so I don't know who it's going to be, but I will guarantee you they'll have a vigorous third-party challenge in the key states that they most need it.
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
Yeah. Woo! Tulsi Gabbard sticking it to Hillary Clinton, the queen of warmongering. She took it to her in a tweet, and she took it to her also on the Tucker Carlson show on Fox, saying how Hillary Clinton has been trying to smear and label Tulsi a Russian asset and all that. She completely annihilated Hillary's attempted wrap-up smear, as Pelosi likes to call it. They couldn't yell racist because Tulsi's a mixed race and brown person herself, so that's the primary weapon they use on people. Their second weapon is to just say everyone's carrying the water for Vladimir Putin in a Russian shill unless you agree with our endless regime change wars in the Middle East following the plan of Israel. So, Tulsi annihilates the wrap-up smear on live, on camera, on Fox. Can't go on CNN or MSNBC for that because we all know that the Zuckers of the world are completely on the side of perpetual war in the Middle East and backing Hillary Clinton. It's the Zio News Network, and they're going to stick with that. They love war in Libya, Iraq, Syria, and they want some more. They'd love to get a war in Iran going. But Tulsi put on her OG shades and wrote this on Twitter, and I thought this seldom is a tweet so awesome that you want to start calling people to say, look at this. But this is what she said to Hillary. Great. Thank you, Hillary Clinton. You, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption, and personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party for so long, have finally come out from behind your curtain. Ooh, that's just the first sentence. From the day I announced my candidacy, there has been a concerted campaign to destroy my reputation. We wondered who was behind it and why. Now we know. It was always you, through your proxies and powerful allies in the corporate media and war machine, afraid of the threat I pose. It is clear now that this primary is between you and me. Don't cowardly hide behind your proxies. Join the race directly. Whew. Snap. That's what happens when you try and step up to a soldier. Someone that put her life on the line in one of your pointless Middle East wars, defending the United States. And you're going to say she's a Russian asset? You're an American. You don't have to be a Democrat. You can be conservative, libertarian. If you're anti-war, if you're sick of losing all this money in the Middle East sinkhole, fighting wars for Israel against America's own interests, if you're sick of aiding Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups, then vote for Tulsi and defend her when they try and smear her and say, oh, you're a Russian asset. Oh, you're an Assad apologist. You know who's warmongering? The Israeli assets. You're Zionist assets, and you're supporting Wahhabi terrorists in Al-Qaeda. That's the truth. And Tulsi is opposed to it, and so am I. Here's the clip from Tucker. Woo! Tulsi Gabbard sticking it to Hillary Clinton, the queen of warmongering. She took it to her in a tweet, and she took it to her also on the Tucker Carlson show on Fox.
Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Tucker.
So just to the factual point first, are you a Russian sleeper cell?
Look, here, let me tell you what this is about. This is about Hillary Clinton sending a very strong message saying that because I am and have long been calling for an end to our country's foreign policy of waging one regime change war after the next, the likes of which we've seen in Iraq, in Libya, and ongoing in Syria, and because I'm calling for an end to this new Cold War and nuclear arms race, that I am a Russian asset and that I am a traitor to the nation that I love. And not only are they saying that about me, they are basically sending this message out to every veteran in this country, every service member, every American, anyone watching at home who is fighting for peace and who is calling for an end to these regime change wars, this new Cold War and arms race. They are saying that you are also a Russian asset, that you are also a traitor to this country. That's really what's happening here.
But to call someone, I mean, it's one thing to say, I disagree with you, I think you're wrong, you know, you're crazy even. But to say you're betraying your country, and by the way, I should remind our viewers, you're a veteran, but that any American is betraying his or her country is a different level. I've never heard anybody at Hillary Clinton's level say something like that.
And the reason why she's doing this is because ultimately she knows that she can't control me, that I stand against everything that she represents. And that if I'm elected president, if I'm the Democratic nominee and elected president, that she won't be able to control me, she won't be able to manipulate me, she won't be able to continue to work from behind the curtain, to continue these regime change wars that have been so costly. Thousands of my brothers and sisters in uniform were killed in Iraq, a war that she championed. Their blood is on her hands. I am calling for an end to these regime change wars. This is why she's speaking out strongly and smearing my character and trying to undermine my campaign. And just as she is doing this to me, this is what will happen to anybody who's doing the same.
Yeah, well, I've certainly noticed that. But I will say it's not just Hillary Clinton. So one of our producers pulled together a quick list here. Samantha Power, who was one of the chief foreign policy advisors to President Obama, has also gone after you. National security analysts from CNN and MSNBC have joined in. It's almost like the Washington foreign policy establishment may not like Hillary Clinton, but they're united with her on this question.
Yeah, well, this is something that happened from literally the day I announced my candidacy for president. As I said it in my tweet earlier, it's become very clear now who's behind it and why. And it is Hillary Clinton and her proxies, the warmongering foreign policy establishment, who are conducting this coordinated smear campaign. And now we know exactly why. It's because I am standing up and speaking out strongly against the Hillary Clinton legacy, the warmongering legacy of waging these regime change wars, continuing to escalate these tensions between the United States, nuclear-armed countries like Russia and China, this nuclear arms race, bringing more profits to the military-industrial complex. As president, I will end these counterproductive policies, these regime change wars, this new Cold War and arms race, and redirect our taxpayer dollars back towards serving the needs of our people right here at home. So I want to send a message, Tucker, to your viewers here tonight. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, whoever you are, if you are sick and tired of Hillary Clinton's warmongering policies and corruption, come and join our campaign. We need your support. You can join us at Tulsi2020.com.
You think, I got to ask you a final political question. In your response to her, you said, make it explicit, get in the race. Any indication she will?
Yes.
She has been publicly speaking a lot recently. Do you think that's real?
I don't know. We'll see. But for her to come out and actually speak for herself, come out from behind the curtain and stop using these proxies, then it will again become clear that this is a race between Hillary Clinton and myself. And voters will be given a very clear choice between choosing Hillary Clinton and all that she represents and continuing these warmongering policies and corruption, or supporting me and my candidacy and the leadership that I seek to bring as a Democrat to take our Democratic Party back so it is a party of, by, and for the people, a party that's fighting for peace, fighting for the people, fighting to protect our planet, and to lead our country forward, to bring people together around our unifying principles and freedoms and who we are as Americans.
And enough with the McCarthyite nonsense. It's really unbelievable. Congressman, thanks so much. Tulsi Gabbard joining us tonight live. Appreciate it.
They're frickin' interdimensional invaders.